my end and press start, and then I'll mute myself and it's over to you then.
Fantastic. I'm ready.
Okie dokie. 3, 2, 1.
And off we go. Hello, everybody. Hello on Telegram. Hi on YouTube. Okay. Hope you're all well. And I hope you've been weathering these energies in a good way. Oh, my goodness. It has been very interesting, I'll tell you. If anyone's interested in like the what would you call that, the kind of the spiritual energetics, for want of a better word, sorry, I've just got to do something with my laptop because it's going a bit wonky. My light's going wonky. My new light is going wonky. That's not good. Alexander Quinn, he has a YouTube channel. He's also on Telegram. He's usually pretty spot on, actually, with what's going on under the surface. So, yes, I want to talk about, so tomorrow is a dark moon. So I will kind of talk a little bit about what that means, what a dark moon is, because most people call it a new moon. But I'm going to talk about the from a witchcraft perspective, dark moon. I'm going to talk a little bit about the planets that are in the sky tomorrow. And then I'm going to pull some cards. I've got a few here. I've got more everywhere. So we'll see what the cards say about what we can expect tomorrow. Okay. So first things first, what is a dark moon? So some of you might know what I'm talking about when I talk about a dark moon. Andy was talking just before about the it's a 0.1 illumination. So I'm not sure if it goes completely 0% this month. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So when you're coming from the full moon, we then get into a waning moon phase, yeah? And sometimes the moon, when it's reached the end of that, so the opposite end of the full moon, for me, is the dark moon. So it makes sense because sometimes, to me it does anyway, sometimes there is no illumination whatsoever from the moon. Like say, not always. Sometimes it's like 0.1%, but essentially that's still a dark moon because you're not actually going to see that in the sky. So the dark moon is really good. So it's another still point like the full moon. So it's a still point where you can really get to grips with your inner world. Yeah, it's very much the portal of your inner landscape. Yeah, walking in the shadows. Hecate and Arianrhod are both excellent deities. Is there a male one that works with the dark moon? Probably go with Thoth if you wanted a male deity. Maybe even Arwen, because he is the lord of the underworld and king of the Fae. So dark moon, yeah, I'm sure he'd gel with that. So it's a really good time to go in, yeah, stillness, banishing. So if you're a banisher, banishing is fantastic on the dark moon. Really quite intense energies, as intense, I would say, as a full moon energy. Yeah. So, you know, it's definitely something you can tap into. You can use a phone app. I use Deluxe Moon for that precision in, you know, when the dark moon is actually, you know, fully here, so to speak. So just as a little side note, for me, the new moon, which most people correlate to the dark moon, is when you can, so it's really good to observe it in the sky when you see that first little sliver of moon, yeah. But if you have a phone app, you can tap into the energy through, you know, like even 0.2 illumination. You will still feel the energy of that. But I think it's really nice to check in, you know, in the sky and see what's going on. I quite like that. So tomorrow is a dark moon. Really good time for, so what are we doing tomorrow? We're actually doing it during the day. Otherwise, if you're going, you don't have to work with planetary hours, but I like working with planetary hours. And because the moon planetary hour is at 10:30 or something tomorrow night, I know Ian would not be up for that. He's in bed by then. And I'm usually asleep on the sofa these days. So we're actually doing something about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So we close the curtains and get into the vibe of the dark moon. So what are we doing? We are doing a ritual with Hecate and all our other deities. I'm inviting them all tomorrow. Basically, because and this is the auspiciousness of what's happening tomorrow. So we got a dark moon. It's the last day of February. Yeah, February is a cleansing month. Yeah, dark moon falls right on the end of it. Oh my goodness. You've also got this planetary, all these planets that I'll talk about in a minute. So it's very auspicious. So even if you just sit in meditation quietly for, however long you sit in meditation for, you're still going to be able to tap into that energy. So what we're doing, we're working with Hecate, and because she's a transmuter of shadow, amongst other things. So what we're doing, I do actually have a meditation. It's a guided meditation. It's about half an hour long, so I can share it in the group. Actually, I can go and grab that. I think it's on SoundCloud. So I will go and grab it and I'll share it in the group here. Because it's a really powerful meditation and it's fully immersive. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's a really interesting meditation to test your fear of the shadow. Yeah, it's a really good one for that. So if you freak out the shadow, please don't do the meditation because it'll freak you out. So yeah, that's what we're doing tomorrow. We're also invoking or calling upon one of her emissaries to clear the path, which is going to be interesting because we've never done that before. That's a new one. So dark moon, powerful energy. So what's happening with the planets tomorrow? So this is, hang on, let me just get my thing up where I can see it. So some of these planets you'll be able to see with a naked eye. Some of them you won't. You'll need either binoculars or a telescope to see them. But essentially, once the sun goes down, so I'm not sure, I did it at like 5:30. So as the sun is setting, in the west will be, you'll have the dark moon, obviously, and then you've got Saturn, and then above that you've got Mercury. Slightly to the left you've got Neptune, and then right up, almost directly in line with where the sun sets, you've got Venus, which is really bright at the moment. She is like, ta-da, right now. So those 4 planets on their own, very powerful. So Saturn, I don't think it's retrograde at the moment, but I'm not sure. I haven't kept on top of my retrogrades. I used to be quite anally retentive about my retrogrades, but now it's like, oh, do you know what? Whatever happens, happens. So that's what I do. So Saturn is all about well, some of the things associated with it actually are your skeletal system, because it's a framework, it's a structure. So Saturn's all about structures. You could also work, if you wanted to work binding magic tomorrow, you could, but just be careful. When you bind something, you could also be binding it to yourself, so be careful. It can also be about keeping things in, if that makes sense. So the structure works obviously to hang things off of, but you can also take that a step further and make things more solid. Yeah. So crystallizing, if you like. So if you were working, for example, with the idea that our bodies are changing to a crystalline form, you could certainly work with Saturn to help with that. Yeah. What else does it correspond to? Your teeth, which is interesting. The nerve, the vagus nerve, the liver, tendons, skin, pituitary, the back of the pituitary gland. Other things as well, but that's just a little idea. What else do we have here? This is the book that when I grabbed this book, everything else fell down. So that's Saturn. If you wanted to work with a deity around that, Set is good. Greek Kronos, obviously, because he is the god of time. Also Loki. If you wanted to work with a Nordic god, you could work with Loki. So that's Saturn. That's the energies of Saturn. Then you have Mercury. So Mercury is, all about the communication, speed of things. Again, I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde at the moment. If it is, it's that thing, isn't it? It's that thing, if you believe that a retrograde planet can, change your life, then, that's what is going to happen. Anyway, so Mercury. So if you wanted to work with deities around that, you've got Thoth, Hermes, Odin, Woden, Mercury, obviously Roman. Whoops. So this is all about activating. It's about learning. It's about connections, changeability. Yeah, because Mercury is very changeability. The kind of physiological word. So you got the mouth, obviously anything to do with communication, tongue, teeth, mouth, throat, obviously, thyroid, vocal cords, your hair, funny enough, which kind of makes sense because your hair is an antenna, essentially. Yeah. Also, to some degree, your feet, because I'm doing a little runny thing with my fingers, in case you're wondering what I'm doing if you're listening on the radio, because you literally run with your feet, don't you? And other things as well. But yeah, ears as well, because ears are essential in communication as much as your voice is. So that's kind of the energies of Mercury. Neptune. So Neptune, let me just find the Neptune thingy-majiggies. Don't have, excuse me. Neptune. That's the trident energy. So obviously things to do with water. Yeah. I don't think I have. Do I have? Oh, I do have. Yes. So when it comes to deities, you've got Neptunus, you've got Poseidon. You have, it's not listed on here, but Mannanon, because Mannanon is the god of the sea, much like Neptune. Nut in Egyptian, she's goddess. of the great deep. So things that are associated with Neptune in terms of your physiological stuff, your spinal cord, I'd say any kind of fluid in the body, yeah. Your appendix, the optic nerve is to do with Neptune, pineal gland, thalamus. I'm trying to read this. It's very tiny writing. Nerve fibers as well. So that's quite interesting. And then we have Venus. Venus. The lovely Venus, which is shining in the sky, which is completely amazing. So deities associated with Venus, if you wanted to work with them, you've got Isis and Hathor, Aphrodite, also Lucifer, because he is the bringer of light. Yes. Freya, Frigg, Venus, Ishtar, also known as Inanna, yeah, or Astarte, and obviously Venus, the Roman goddess of love. So Venus is all about, it's not just love, yeah, it's many things. It's friendship, it's creativity, it's the receiving aspect of your being, yeah. It embraces like the whole creative thing around music and poetry, and coming together with people and sharing that. So it's a beautiful energy. And of course the Hathors reside in Venus at the moment, which is quite interesting. So physiological associations. So you've got the obviously the venous circulation, so your left-hand side circulation, the kidneys, the throat, lips, cheeks, olfactory nerve, anything to do with the reproductive organs, the thymus gland, which is your higher heart, which secretly I believe could have actually been a second heart, but that's a discussion for another day. Your navel, your lumbar region, and your facial skin as well. So that's if you wanted to connect with Venus tomorrow, then that's certainly something that you can do with that. It's also the energy of Venus is also quite it's relaxing. So if you think about, when you are with friends and you're having fun, doing playing music or making music, or I don't know, reciting poetry, whatever, it's quite relaxing, isn't it? So think of it in those terms. So that's in the west tomorrow. Okay. What you've then got to the south. Now, like I say, some of these you'll see with the naked eye, some you won't. You will need some kind of eye enhancements. So you've got Jupiter, which is to the right of Uranus. So I was trying to find a point. So if you find Jupiter in the sky tomorrow night, Uranus is to the right and slightly below, so almost on the next line, if you like, is Uranus, and that's to the south tomorrow. So you have, so they're not lined up, they're not in conjunction, they're just visible in the sky all at once. So this is, I did a time travel thing on my Sky app. It's really cool. So this is at 5:31 tomorrow evening. Yeah. So Jupiter, beautiful, beautiful energy of Jupiter, which is our protector essentially. So Jupiter has the energy of protection. It also has the energy of expansion and abundance, and it's a very expansive energy. If you wanted to connect with Jupiter tomorrow, you've got obviously the god Jupiter. You've got Marduk. Yeah, you've got Zeus, Odin, Thor, obviously Thor's Day. Anglo-Saxon, can't even say it, Thunor. Hindu, you've got Indra. Celtic, and I've never actually heard of this one, Busamarus. There you go. You've also got, although it's not, it is a deity, but it's also an idea, Ma'at, from the Egyptian pantheon. You've also got, no, that's it. Oh, Germanic, Donar, thunder god, again. So you have the energy of Jupiter is very much around, pardon me, majesty and wisdom, and very patient in the growth and the expansion energy. So because I don't know, you'd have to be a very tolerant being, because all these planets are beings, obviously, to have things launch themselves at you all the time, because Jupiter catches a lot of the things that would otherwise hit the Earth, allegedly. So yeah, I think there's definitely a sense of, there's a grace there with Jupiter, I would say. So what physiological associations do we have with Jupiter? So you have the adrenal glands, the arms, the liver, arteries, teeth again, the thighs, lungs, digestive organs, hands, the feet, the ribs, the sides of the body, which is interesting, reproduction and cellular tissue building. Okay. So that's the energy of Jupiter. And then you have Uranus, which so Uranus was the name of the most ancient deity, the father of Saturn. There you go. Who knew that? So in mythology, Uranus was the personification of the night sky, which I love that. Uranus was sometimes called Sun, Gaia, or Ge. I don't know how you pronounce that, but it means earth. So she is described as the first being to spring from chaos. Now that's interesting. She being Gaia. Sorry. So she gave birth to Uranus, heaven, and Pontus, which is the sea. There you go. So the energy of Uranus is kind of a little bit disruptive. So it's a change agent. So you could feel, so I suppose it's a bit discordia, actually, you could say. It's a bit discordia. So I don't think I haven't got any deities for Uranus. But if you wanted to connect with a deity that can help you navigate the chaos, Discordia is the one for you, or Iris, which is the Greek version. It's quite a change agent is Uranus, so it can be quite erratic, can also feel exciting, but very kind of magnetic energy. It's also almost like a sieve. So myself and Ian have been talking about this idea of we're being put through a sieve we're going through a tiny little hole. Yeah, being put through the sieve, getting rid of the stuff that we don't need anymore. Yeah, banishing the baggage. So you could see Uranus as the sieve. Yeah, so it's making us drop the stuff that we don't need anymore, which is why it's a change agent. So physiological associations: pineal gland, the appendix, ankles, stomach membranes, heart valves, motor nerves of speech, which I find quite interesting. And that's about all I've got on Uranus. So what we also have in the kind of southeast is we have, so if you find Jupiter in the sky, which would be really bright like Venus, and when I'm looking at, so if you can find Rigel, Sirius, so you got Sirius to the southeast, Rigel, and then Jupiter straight up, and then if you go, if you can find, so I'm just looking at my, where is it? If you can find Canis Major and you go up, so through Sirius, and then you go, you've probably seen it in the sky already. You can see Mars because it has a reddish tint. Yeah. If you haven't found it yet in the night sky, go up from Sirius. I'm just seeing past Orion. So the head of Orion is almost level with Mars, which is to the left. Yeah. But it's very easy to see because Mars is it's shining red at the moment. So if you wanted to tap into the energy of Mars, I mean, there's no reason why you can't tap into all the energies, but I would suggest that you want to be a little bit experienced if you're going to do that, because it could be quite intense. So Mars, I mean, I think Mars gets a bad rap. You know, people go, oh, Mars, it's all about war. No, it's not. That's bullshit. It's about your will. It's about, you know, pushing through things when you need to. One of the things associated with Mars that not a lot of people know about is needlework. If you're doing any kind of sewing, Tuesday is the perfect day to do it because it's Mars Day on a Tuesday. Yeah. It's also associated with the metal iron, obviously, because it's a red planet. And iron is the metal for crossing to the other world. It's a conduit to the other world. Yeah. So you could use Mars energy, and you know, if you have an iron key or something that you've charged with that purpose. So if you were working with Hecate, you could certainly do that. We're going to be using keys tomorrow, actually, to transmute any remnants of shadow that are left. I don't think there are, but you know, who knows? You know, you can certainly do that. You can work with Mars energy. In fact, today is Aquaria, which we haven't charged our Mars sigils today. With everything that's been going on, you know, I think I'm allowed a bit of a pass on that one. But you could certainly, you know, you could certainly work with the energy of Mars and the metal of iron to cross a threshold, definitely. So deities that you can use, Woden, Odin, obviously, Hercules, which is interesting, Ares, that's Ares, god of war, Mars, obviously, Sekhmet. So Sekhmet again gets a bit of a bad rap. Everyone goes, "Oh, Sekhmet, goddess of war." Yeah, but if you know the story as to why she did that, then you might actually understand why she did it. But she, although she is associated with war, she is also a healer, and she is also when you become a priest or a priestess of Sekhmet, you actually take on, you literally take a vow to become a custodian, a guardian of this earth and the truth, not, everybody's truth, the truth of what this whole thing is actually all about. Yeah. I think I've talked about that before. I don't know. I probably have in other videos. Also Ishtar. Because again, Ishtar, bit of a bad rap, because she's featured on chariots, war chariots, but again, she's all about the love, as is Sekhmet. So that's all the planets that you will be able to see tomorrow, not necessarily with the naked eye. So if you've got binoculars or some kind of eye enhancements, then definitely try. And if you haven't got that, maybe get your Google Sky Map out and do a search on it, and it'll point you in the right direction. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it, obviously, but it's fun going out and looking at the night sky. I've quite enjoyed that actually these past few days, where I'm taking the dog out. So so that's all the planetary bits. So how are we doing for time? Okay, so I've got time to pull some cards. So as it's a dark moon tomorrow, I'm going to pull, and we're working with Hecate tomorrow, I'm going to pull a card from the Hecatean Oracle deck, something like that it's called. Don't know where the box has gone. The box has disappeared. And what I'll do afterwards is I'll take a photo of, there we go, of the card. Oh, there we go. So one of the things Hecate, when she is transmuting the shadow, it's about the fire. So I've got a card. In fact, I don't know if I can take a picture. Let me see. Can I do that? So I'll just show it for the YouTube folks. So it's all about fire. Let me see if I can take a picture. Aha, I think I can. Oh, will it do it? I think it will, Okay. There we go. That's the card I've just pulled. So yeah, Hecate and her sacred fires is what helps to clear away, burn away any shadow, because obviously we had this conversation last week, without light there is no shadow. So by using her light, the threefold flame, the torches, because she's a torch bearer essentially, and she is ancient. As far as I'm concerned, she is before time. She's before all the other Greek gods. I don't even think she's Greek by nature. I think she is primordial, so she has no affiliation to any pantheon whatsoever. That's my take on it. That's been my experience and what I've been told. So that's a really nice confirmation for me personally, because of what we're doing tomorrow. But we are the torch bearers essentially. If you are working on, if you are activating your light, if you are in touch with the being that you really are, then you're a torch bearer. You're shining, so you are a torch bearer. So that's a really nice little confirmation there. I'm also going to take one from this little crystal oracle deck. Let's see what we have here. because, you know, I love crystals. And what's really interesting is it, so if you're planning a ritual, you know, you can pull a card or cards plural to, you know, get, you know, okay, so what crystals am I going to work with in this ritual? You know, and you can ask the cards to give you answers. So, Akashic Records. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on that for YouTube. There we go. So let me take a photo. Okay. So why is this amazing for me? Okay. So the Akashic Records, essentially, the Akashic Records is where we hold all of our experiences. It's like a metaphysical library. Yeah. You might already know that. Sorry if you do. So this metaphysical library holds every experience we've ever had, good or bad or indifferent. Yeah. It's also in your Akashic Records is where is stored all your karmic stuff. Yeah. Good or bad or indifferent. So this is really interesting that Akashic Records has come up with the you know, fire cleansing, because essentially what we're doing is we are clearing our Akashic Records right now. That's what we're doing. That's what February is, a clearing month on so many different levels. Yeah. So that's essentially what we're doing. So what am I going to take next? What am I going to pull next? I am going to pull from Work Your Light. Work Your Light. So, oh, there we go. Let's see what's on the other side of the clearing Inner Temple. So we got Divine Temple, Akashic Records, and then we got Inner Temple. Oh, you can't make this up. I love it. Inner Temple. There we go. Devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. Let me take a picture. Oh, I love this. I love it. I love it. It's really cool. So let me just take a picture. You know what's really interesting about this card? It's got an Egyptian-y feel about it. Talking about Sekhmet. So yeah, that's really interesting. What you've also got in this card, you've got two portals actually. You got the portal. In fact, no, you've got four portals. You've got two portals that are at the heart center, yeah, which is the portal of your heart, which is reflected, yeah. You got the portal through the doorway, which looks to me like the night sky, yeah. And you got the portal above that, which you could see as a point of focus, like in Raja Yoga. So they use, like, it's usually on a wall. It's like a point of focus with rays coming out of it. It looks very similar to what's in this card actually, and that is your point of focus for meditation. So you meditate with your eyes open and gazing at this particular image. It's very challenging, and I tend to fall asleep when I'm doing that. I'll nod off. That's not good. Although that was a few years ago when I was doing that. Yeah, so I might need to give it another go actually. Okay, so let's also go to water. So the element of water is, I was told in, I think it was 2021 actually, after a crazy holiday that we had. Water was a big feature on that holiday, I have to say. And when we got back and I was asking questions, I was asking myself, higher self, questions about, you know, what happened and why. One of the answers I got is the water element is the most important one. Well, I haven't heard any different. Let's say that. Because it, again, on many different levels, I mean, it holds sound vibration and frequency. It is extremely cleansing. It actually, when you look at, when people say, oh, you can't live without water. Well, actually, when you look at the composition of water, it's actually mostly oxygen. So it's not water that you can't live without, it's oxygen. So there you go. So it's very, it's an extremely important element. And I would say, because the moon is connected with the element of water, Venus is connected with, oh, there we go, the element of water. It's very healing. Okay. The ripple effect. Okie dokie. Let me just get that. So it. Is it gonna? No. No, it's not going to. So I'll try to get it to focus on with my camera, and it's not going to do it. But it's a really nice image. So I will. It's actually got another portal in it, actually, and actually looks like the Milky Way. It's the Milky Way as a portal. That's interesting. Yeah. What's really interesting about that is at the moment we're watching Stargate Atlantis. Oh my goodness, that's mad. Right, let's get this to focus. Is it going to focus? So the card says the ripple effect, part of something bigger, and details are taken care of. So who takes care of the details? Well, if you set an intention, and we've spoken about this before, you set an intention and, you know, you kind of hand it over. You have to hand it over at some point. Otherwise, it's like a parcel. So you've ordered I've ordered some barefoot shoes, and it's like, if I'm the supplier, but I'm holding on to the parcel, it's never going to get to the end destination. So similarly, if you set an intention, but you're I don't know, maybe you keep repeating it all the time, yeah. So you're constantly giving it your attention. Personally, I think it's better to let it, you know, just forget about it. Hand it over. Literally say, I'm handing this over to you, whoever that is, whoever it is for you, and that, you know, you take care of the details for me, because you've set your bigger picture, your intention. Yeah, that's my take on it. Okay, so I'm going to pull 2 more cards. This is the Val, you'll like this one. This is the Lyran. Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's a story here. So we go through the cleanse, yeah, the fire, yeah, clearing your Akashic records. We come to the inner temple, yeah, the heart. We realize that we're part of something bigger. So that's the part of you that's bigger and sees everything. Details taken care of by that part of you that is bigger and sees everything. And then we come to peaceful reunion. Yeah. Reunions bring healing. So, I mean, this could be reunions with people who aren't part of your life anymore, maybe. But I think it's bigger than that. I think this is a reunion with yourself, your true self. Yeah. That's what I think this is talking about. So on the other side of this dark moon, yeah, this cleansing and this planetary multi-planetary energy is something quite profound. And you've got doves in this picture, you've got a rose, so it's all about the love. And what are lions all about? Apart from lolling around and not doing a lot unless they're hungry, they're all about the love, aren't they? There you go. Kevin, you want, yes, you can get them on Amazon. Really easy to get hold of. They're not difficult. So sometimes cards are really hard to get hold of. I find that very frustrating when that happens. So I'm going to take one more card, and then we're going to open it up and see if anyone wants to say anything. Yeah, the strength of the heart in the lion. Absolutely. Lions, yeah, they're woo, there we go. Oh, we got 3. Okay. Okay, so we've got the king. So this is the Citadel deck. So we got the king. So we got you could see that as, so this particular king is losing because his sword is breaking. So he's losing something. So you're losing something. The adventurer and the musician. Okay, so I would say, so the next card is the adventurer. I'll take a photo of these in a second. So the adventurer is about responsibility and more so, I would say, expectations. So you're dropping people's expectation, when people expect too much of you. Yeah, so you're dropping that. That's part of one of the things I would say this reunion with yourself is bringing. Yeah. And then we have, this is amazing. So what was I talking about with Venus? So you've got musician, inspiration. I like to call that reverence rather than gratitude. Okay. So let me just take a picture of these cards because they're quite amazing, actually. I do like this deck. So as you can see there in the king card, just sharing it now, the sword is breaking. So it's a bit like in Lord of the Rings, when the sword is broken, the king loses his power. Yeah. So, but you could take that if you want as losing your power, but I'm taking that because the cards that follow it tell me that you are losing your releasing control of those expectations. Yeah. When you look at the other cards, hang on, there we go. When you look at the cards around it, this is the other side of this cleansing. Yeah. So let me just take a picture of the adventurer. So what you've got in this adventurer card, you've got a volcano. So things are coming to the surface. Yeah. Oh, sorry, that's a bit blurry. Sorry about that. And then you've got the musician. So on the other side of that amazing release is this creativity. And funny enough, it's got a waning moon in there as well, which is really interesting. So, okay. I'm going to open it up if anyone wants to say anything, ask a question.
Hi, Angie.
Hello.
Hi, Andy. I'll get the line.
Didn't hear that. It was all a bit broken up.
Angie, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yep.
Cool. Just to let folks know, whilst earlier on you was talking about the planets,
yeah.
If you scroll up to just above where you started posting your cards, there are 3 images. One image is of a global view of all the planets that are visible in the night sky tonight. So they'll be more or less the same tomorrow night.
Cool.
There's also a second image that shows you the transit path of each of the planets with the names that are currently at the time of that image that I took it. These are all live captions. And then I managed to figure out that I could show the position of Mars in its current location in the sky near Gemini.
Oh, cool.
So this app that I've got, I only play around with it. I don't really focus a lot of time and energy on it. But it's great for this kind of stuff.
Cool.
But I don't know how accurate it is. I've never put it to the test.
Okay.
But it is quite useful. I don't know if it's spot on. If it's close enough, then that's good enough.
Yeah.
But I don't know how accurate it is. But it looks like it's the real deal. I've been using it for a couple of years now. It's quite a handy little app.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Just looking at the planet's path bit. Yeah, that looks pretty accurate. That's cool. Like that.
There's a lot of information that goes way over my head. I just want to see the pictures of the planets.
Yeah.
But you know when you said you were getting anally retentive about whether things are in retrograde?
Oh, yeah.
It tells you all that as well.
Oh, okay. So you might have to send me a link for that one. Oh, no.
Let me see if I can find it. Let me mute myself and I'll go and see if I can find it. And I'll post a link up to it on the Google Play Store.
Cool. Thank you. So yeah,
Can I ask you, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, thank you. Good day, everyone. This is Kevin from Hamilton, Ontario, where I was born on February 27th, 1957, at 8:36 p.m.
Cool.
So later on, I celebrate 60 years on planet Earth. It's now 1:55, so I still have, almost 7 hours to go. So it's
Cool.
almost my birthday.
Anyone else?
So does that mean it's happy birthday time, Kevin?
Yeah, definitely.
Right, the link for that app's up. You can have a look at it. It's called Daft Moon
Oh, cool.
Phase.
8:36 p.m. here, Andy. I don't know. That's that's tomorrow for you. On the Julian I want another question. On the Julian calendar, February 27th, which is in the present Gregorian calendar, but on the Julian, this day is February 14th. Okay, so also we have a new moon today. I'm not sure the time it comes up, but so we have new moon rising. Oh, that's good. New moon, no, new moon doesn't rise because you can't see it. Okay. Oh yeah. Sorry, I screwed up on that. So I also want to say, when you pulled the first card, I pulled the Chariot.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
Then the second card, you pulled the Akashic. I pulled the Prince of Wands. And then, 57 lampades. That is the year I was born. I wanted to tell you about Ma'at. That's Tol's daughter. She wrote 42 Ideals of Ma'at. And I have them somewhere. If you want them, I can give them to you.
Cool.
No, right now. I have to find them first, but I have them here. Put them out.
Cool. Thank you. Anyone else like to say anything or not say anything? Oh, it's all got quiet.
Angie, you didn't mention Pluto.
No, Pluto's doing its own thing at the moment. I was thinking about Pluto today, but it's doing its own thing. it's not actually visible with all the others. So yeah, I did think about that today. But Pluto is elsewhere. It's got other things to be busying about.
Oh, it's got it. It's running around today, is it? Okay. Thank you very much.
That's okay. I mean, did anyone else have anything they'd like to say about the cards that I pulled?
I'm looking forward to. I was just going to say I'm really looking forward. I looked at the pictures, Andrew, because it was on charge. So I'm really looking forward to going back and having looked at the pictures and listening again, because as you were saying stuff, just so much stuff was coming in. So
oh wow,
thanks.
That's really cool.
There was lots of purple light that like columns of it was kind of how it was being perceived as it was coming in and down. So
wow,
thank you.
that's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Wow. Were you going to say something, Andy?
Yeah, I was going to say that I think I've just posted an image up of that app, and I think it shows, I think that's Pluto right down in the bottom, away from all the other planets.
Yeah. You got Pluto in your bottom.
I'm assuming that's Pluto right down there.
Yeah, I think Pluto is it's off doing its own thing. Well, it's in Aquarius at the moment, isn't it? So it's having a ball.
Well, I can find that out. Let me just have a quick shuftig. This is good for this because I've never really messed around with this. So
Pluto's in Aquarius until I think it's 20. It's for 20 years. It's in Aquarius, so it's having a ball down there.
I was going to say something else then. Yes, let me take a picture of this. Hang on. I've just rotated it round, or should I say, the app has. Let me download that. Come back out of that. Come back into here. Come back out. And there you go. That's where Pluto is in conjunction at this very moment with Capricornus.
Oh wow.
So it tells you that it's got the, I don't know what these things mean, but they're all azimuth or whatever, rise, set, elong, phase, distance, and magnitude. It's all there. So,
cool.
It's a really, really cool app. But I just hope it is accurate, because then it would spoil it if it wasn't.
That's really cool. I like that.
It's even got a tiny little YouTube channel as well with not many folk on it.
Oh,
so
cool.
the link's there. So there's a link to the app, there's a link to the YouTube channel, which is a little demo on how to use it, which I've never watched.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed until a few seconds ago.
Cool.
So yeah, we can, I'll have a look at that now and play around with that. Learn
Excellent.
a bit more about this app that I've had for a couple of years. But yeah, that's me done. Thank you very much, Angie. That's me done now. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they wanted to share about what I spoke about or about the cards that I pulled?
Oh, I could. Well, your cards. I thought you were reading for me. But who are you reading for? Just the group, or?
Yeah, it was, well, I was kind of drawn to just pull some cards for the energy of, so we got the dark moon tomorrow, but also, you know, all the planetary stuff that's happening.
The new moon's today.
No, the dark moon is tomorrow.
What's the dark moon?
I did explain that. You were late to class, weren't you, Kevin?
The new moon. I always thought the new moon was the dark moon. I must have been mistaken.
Well, it's not a hard and fast rule, but from a witchcraft perspective, there's little subtle differences in the moon phase that, you know, we tap into.
Oh.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah.
didn't know that. Interesting, like light and dark energy, you mean?
Yeah, when you think about the moon, and kind of the
Moon and woman, right?
yeah, moon and women. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Cancer, right?
So obviously a waning moon phase is the reducing of something. So when you get to the dark moon, which is the absence of light from the moon, you know, it's a really good time to, you know, do those things like go inward, you know, banishing any kind of like getting rid of things before the new moon comes in, and then you know that then starts again, if you like.
I thought new moon today.
It might be for you on for us, because obviously there's a big time difference going on.
Oh yes. I found a piece of iron from Mars. No, well, I got it in the. No, I thought you said iron before in Mars. I thought, yeah, I think I have a piece of iron here somewhere. So I went back in my bedroom, and sure enough, there it is, big hunk of Mars.
Cool.
So it's pretty heavy, just raw iron. From,
Yeah.
I think it's from the Black Hills. I picked up a bunch of stuff in the Black Hills. I just love the rawness of it, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Cool. Anyone else like to share, or we can turn Andy, if you want to stop the recording, we can always people might be more.
Do you want to say a few final words for the listeners who's listening back on the recording?
So yeah, I mean, if you want to tap into the energy of the dark moon for tomorrow, I mean, really, it's as simple as sitting in meditation, because the dark moon is all about that inner landscape. Or, you know, if you wanted to go really crazy, have a spring clean. You know, it's also about banishing and clearing. So, you know, on the last day of February, when we have these very auspicious energies, you know, maybe clear out a bunch of stuff out of your home. There you go. There you go. That's my last words.
Right, I'll stop the recording on that one. Thank you.